That cigar the counter guy called his favorite, the one you paid $16 for. He knew the wrapper. He sounded like a friend. Here is what he left out: a shop marks that stick up hard, and the one he points you to usually pads the counter the most. The trust you walked in with is the exact thing they use to empty your wallet. To that counter, you are not a regular. You are a margin with legs. The good news: almost every trick in this video loses to a phone in your pocket and $20 of gear from anywhere but their counter. It all runs on one quiet fact: the band, not the leaf, is most of what you pay for. Today I'm exposing 9 things cigar shops don't want you to know about cigars. And number 1 is the friendly face who just shook your hand and sold you out. Secret 1: follow the money behind his mouth, not the warmth in his voice. You know the moment. You ask what he likes, and he leans in, drops his voice a little, and steers you toward the house line, the blend the shop is known for. It feels like a gift. It feels like he pulled you behind the curtain. So you buy it, because a friend just handed you a secret. So here is what you actually do about it. Treat his pick as interested advice, not a neutral verdict. Ask him one flat question: what do you personally hold that is not the house line? Watch what he reaches for. Then cross-check the name on your phone before you pay. Now the wiring under that friendliness, so you know why the question works. That house blend, the private label with the shop's own name on the band, carries the fattest margin on the wall for a plain retail reason. No brand middleman sits between the factory and the counter, so nobody upstream is taking a cut. Brands also ship free goods to move product. Buy 5 boxes, get 3. And they run spotlight weeks that flood the counter with one name. The Boutique Cigar Association has written about how those free goods deals quietly bend what the counter pushes. So his mouth follows the incentive without anyone lying to you. He is not bribed, he has reasons. That is the whole point, the honest part. The counter guy may not even know he is doing it. The problem is not that his pick is always wrong. The problem is you have no way to tell his honest pick from his best margin until you ask. And the next thing he steers you toward is not even a cigar. It is a $200 box he swears you need. You do not. Secret 2: the wall humidor is furniture pretending to be a necessity. Picture the glass case behind him, the Spanish cedar chest with the brass hinges, the little hygrometer, the price tag that reads $200 and climbs from there toward $2,000 and beyond. It looks like the serious next step. It looks like what a real collector owns. So you start saving for it, because storing cigars properly sounds like it should cost real money. It should not, and the proof is cheap. An airtight plastic container and one humidity pack hold your sticks just as well, and often steadier. The cigar world has a nickname for it: a Tupperdoor. Holt's Cigar Guide walks through the build, and Boveda, the company that makes the 2-way humidity packs, publishes exactly which pack size to drop inside. Total damage is under $20 against a box that runs $200 and up. You are paying $200 for a wooden box to do the job a $20 plastic one does better. And you can prove this one yourself. Drop a cheap hygrometer in the container next to the fancy chest and read both. The number does not care what the box cost. The move: buy a food-grade airtight container and one correctly sized humidity pack. Season it for a day, load your sticks, done. That is your working humidor. Said straight, a fine cedar chest can build slow complexity in a collection you plan to hold for a decade, and it looks beautiful on a shelf. If that is what you want, buy it with open eyes. Just know you are buying furniture and a hobby, not better preservation. For a stash you actually rotate through, the plastic wins. The next thing he lowers his voice for is not storage. It is smuggled, or so he wants you to believe. Secret 3: that under-the-counter Cuban is a story with a band on it. Here comes the wink. He glances around, lowers his voice, and tells you he can get you the real thing. Cubans, the forbidden ones. Your pulse ticks up, because you have heard your whole life that Cuban is the top of the mountain, and now a guy is offering you the mountain. So you pay Cuban money. You very likely paid it for a fake. Cigar Aficionado has reported that roughly 90% of the Cubans sold to tourists and through street channels are counterfeit. Not the real leaf, not the real factory, just the story and a convincing band. You paid a premium for a costume, and one twist should sting the least and free you the most. In Cigar Aficionado's own blind scoring, where the band and the price are hidden from the panel, a Dominican once outscored 5 actual Cubans. The mystique is doing more work than the leaf. So do this. If a stick's whole pitch is that it is secretly Cuban, walk, buy a well-made non-Cuban out in the open, from a licensed shop, where the band is not the entire product. This is about the wink deal from under a counter, not your licensed local tobacconist. Plenty of genuine Cubans exist. The ones getting waved at Americans in the shadows are usually not them. If nobody ever told you any of this, that is exactly why this channel exists. Subscribe, and I will keep handing you the moves the counter would rather you never learned. Coming up, one that flips everything you assume the second you read a price tag. Secret 4. Price is not proof. The expensive stick is not automatically the better one. Stand in front of the wall. Your eye slides to the top shelf, the boutique name, the box that costs the most. And something in your gut says that one must be the good one because it costs the most. That instinct is the single most expensive reflex you carry into a cigar shop. Cigar Aficionado runs blind scores, meaning the critics rate the stick with the band and the price hidden. And in those ratings, sub $6 sticks have pulled 980+ scores, landing above far pricier names. Best Cigar Prices keeps whole roundups of sub $10 cigars scoring in that same tier, year after year. A $5 stick can score higher than boxes costing 3 times as much, and the tag never told you. Say it back to yourself in front of the wall. Price tells you what they are charging. It does not tell you what is inside. So do this at the shelf. Ignore the shelf height. Look up the specific stick's blind score on your phone before you decide, and let a proven cheaper one earn your money over an unproven expensive one. 2 minutes of checking can save you a $15 mistake. Palate is personal, and cheap is not always better. Sometimes the pricey stick really is the one you prefer, and that is fine. The point is narrower and harder. Price is a terrible way to predict quality, so stop letting the tag think for you. And there is one move that costs nothing, which is exactly why the shop is quietly hoping you never try it. Secret 5. Pick it up, inspect it. You are allowed, and it changes everything. Most people never touch the cigar before it goes in the bag. They point, he grabs, they pay. And a shop is happy to let a badly made or half-dead stick leave in your hand, because it is off their shelf and onto your problem. That dull, lifeless wrapper means the stick has sat dying on his shelf for years, and he will still let you carry it out. You have more power in the shop than you use. Run your thumb down the length. Feel that soft give, that little hollow spot. That is the stick nobody told you was half dead in your hand. An even feel usually means an even build, and soft spots or hard plugs mean trouble. Then check the wrapper for a faded, dull, lifeless look and for loose or cracked leaf. Those are the tells of a stick that has been sitting in a slow shop's humidor for years. Cigar Aficionado and Holtz both published these construction and freshness checks in plain language. The move. Before you pay, hold it, feel the whole length for soft or tight spots, and eyeball the wrapper. If it feels lumpy or looks dead, hand it back and ask for another. A 30-second inspection is the cheapest tool in the shop. Real talk on the limit. You cannot fully judge the filler on an uncut cigar, and a tired wrapper is a read, not a lab result. These are strong heuristics, not certainties. But a 30-second inspection catches the obvious duds, and the obvious duds are most of them. Secret 6. The walk-in humidor is often running wet, and you are paying for water. Step into the glass room. It feels lush, humid, almost tropical, and the cigars look plump and full sitting on the shelves. It reads as freshness. It reads as care, so you never question it. That plumpness is not freshness. It is water weight, and you are the one carrying it home. A lot of shops keep that room high, up around 70% and sometimes past it, because moisture makes the sticks feel fat and generous in your hand on the floor. But the old 70-70 rule is out of date. Boveda and the Humidor guides now put the sane range closer to 65 to 72%. So you carry it home, you cut it a week later, and the wrapper splits down the side under your thumb. The roll has gone soft and spongy in your hand. You paid cigar prices by the weight, and a chunk of that weight was tap water dressed up as tobacco, and now that water is wrecking the stick, sitting in your own humidor. So the fix. Do not cut a fresh stick the day you buy it. Rest it in a dryer box or container for 1 to 3 days first, a trick the guides call dry boxing, and let it settle to a sane humidity before you touch it. Whether your shop leaves that room wet by accident or on purpose, I cannot see their thermostat. But either way, you carried the water home and paid cigar prices for it. And either way, 2 days of dry boxing fixes it. What is documented is enough. Sticks feel fuller wet. Past 70% they misbehave, and dry boxing thing settles them. Seasoned buyers walk straight into this one. Secret 7. Never let the counter talk you into a whole box you have not tried. This upsell gets everybody. You liked one stick or you liked the pitch, and he says the box is the better deal per cigar. He is not wrong about the math. The box is cheaper per cigar, and that is exactly how they get you to drop $150 on 20-odd cigars of something you have met exactly once, or never. That is the biggest way in the shop to get burned, because if you do not like it, you now own 20 of it. 20 sticks you have to give away, gift off, or set aside one disappointed evening at a time. That is $150 sitting in your humidor as a monument to one confident nod on the floor. There is a smaller door, and it has been standing open the whole time. The sampler. A 5-pack or a mixed sampler costs a fraction of a full box, and retailers like Best Cigar Prices and Atlantic Cigar build these specifically so you can try before you commit. Never buy the box before you buy the 5-pack. You get to find out whether you even want the box before you buy the box. Next time he pushes the box, ask for the 5-pack or the sampler of that same blend instead. Try it across a few days, in different moods and different weather, because one stick on one night is a bad sample size. Only then decide if the full box earns your $150. If you already know you love a stick, the box genuinely does save you money per cigar, and buying one is smart. The rule is not never buy a box. The rule is never buy a box blind. Secret 8. That brand new stick can be carrying eggs that eat your whole collection. This one is not about your wallet. It is about everything already in your humidor. You bring home a fresh cigar, tuck it in with the rest, feel good about it, and go to bed. You just may have introduced a saboteur. This is the move that separates a guy with a humidor from a guy who actually protects a collection. Tobacco beetles. Even careful, reputable shops can unknowingly carry sticks with dormant beetle eggs in the leaf. They sit still and invisible until your humidor warms up. The University of Florida's entomology department, in its featured creatures profile of the cigarette beetle, lays out the biology, and stored tobacco researchers have shown that deep cold kills every life stage. Push past about 72 degrees in your humidor and those eggs can hatch, and the beetles bore straight through the cigars around them, leaving pinholes and dust where a shelf of good sticks used to be. Cigar Aficionado and Junior both document the same disaster from the buyer's side. One infected stick can take out the whole box next to it. The move. Quarantine every new arrival before it joins the collection. Double bag the cigars, put them in a 0-degree freezer for about 72 hours, then thaw them slow, first in the fridge, then out to room temperature. The slow thaw matters as much as the freeze, because a sudden jump in temperature can crack a cold wrapper. Done right, it kills the eggs and leaves the cigar untouched. Kept honest, this is not a knock on your shop, and it does not mean your sticks are crawling. Most cigars are perfectly clean. Freezing is cheap insurance against a rare disaster, not a sign anyone did anything wrong. It costs you 3 days and protects everything you own. And that brings us to the biggest one, the reveal the counter is built to keep quiet. Secret 9. The band is most of the price, because the same factory rolls the same leaf without it. This is the one that reframes the whole wall behind the counter. You have been paying in large part for a paper ring and a name printed on it. Plasencia alone supplies leaf to somewhere around 70% of the premium industry, and contract rolls for names you would recognize on sight. So the same or very similar tobacco from the same factory walks out onto shelves under a famous band at one price and under a plain band at a fraction of it. Cigar Aficionado has profiled Plasencia's reach, and retailers like Junior run whole alternative and factory second lines built on exactly this. Say it plain at the next barbecue. A big share of what you pay for a premium stick is the ring it is wearing. So look up the factory second or alternative version of a blend you already like from a legit seller and buy the same tobacco for a fraction of the branded price. A second is not identical to the famous name, and it can carry a cosmetic flaw, a blotch on the wrapper, a slight color mismatch. And you want a seller with a real reputation, not a stranger. But under that plain band, it is the same or similar leaf from the same factory. You are dropping the ring, not the cigar. So here is the through line under all 9. It is not 1,000 cigar shops each inventing a scam. It is a small handful of faceless owners and one shared playbook. And the playbook runs on you not knowing any of this. The house blend margin, the $200 box, the wink Cuban, the price you mistake for quality, the wet room, the blind box, All of it leans on the same thing: your trust and your not knowing. Now the exception, because it is real. The good local shop is not the enemy here. The guy who packs your box the way he packs his own, who knows your name before he knows your order, who does not own the factory whose cigars he sells and tells you straight what he thinks. That guy is worth every dollar. Reward him. He is the reason this hobby is any fun at all. Do 3 things and you are out of the trap. Ask what he holds that is not the house line, and cross-check it. Store your sticks in a cheap airtight container with a humidity pack and inspect every cigar before you pay. And buy the sampler and the factory second before you ever buy the branded box. Your wallet and your humidor will both thank you. Now tell me down in the comments, which one of these shop tricks got you before you knew better? Drop it below and let's compare scars.